up, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. Brian Ortega is utter dog shit. Because earlier on, we witnessed Brian Ortega lose 50-45 against Aljamain Sterling. Now, there's nothing wrong with losing to Aljamain Sterling whatsoever. I feel like when you get dominated for 5 rounds, it's somewhat embarrassing anyways. But still, Aljamain Sterling is a great fighter. It's the way that Aljamain Sterling won, though. Aljamain Sterling, known for being a very dominant, good grappler. Not really known for his striking ability. And he pretty much put on a striking masterclass against Brian Ortega. And going into this fight, I was saying Brian Ortega, if he has a stronger point against Aljamain Sterling, it's probably his striking. But that proved not to be the case. For 5 rounds, Aljamain Sterling was able to jab the head off of Brian Ortega, land a numerous amount of leg kicks, and I think in the 3rd round, he landed a beautiful spinning elbow, and Brian Ortega simply just didn't have an answer all of his fight. The output from this guy was stupid, and when I say stupid, I mean stupidly bad, by the way. And not only that, he just got nothing going for him. I think he had like striking accuracy of like 16%. He was out of range for so many of his shots, he couldn't land shit. And it's not just the fight that makes me say that Brian Ortega is dog shit, it's the weight cut. This guy couldn't even make 145 pounds. Don't let Brian Ortega, don't ever match him up at 145 again. He is done in that featherweight division. He can't make 145. They had to do a catch weight of 153 pounds, pretty much a lightweight bout at that point. And for me, why is this the case? Because I actually feel like Brian Ortega, he's quite well-rounded. He's got good durability. He can go 5 rounds. He's proven that a few times. Why is he just not improving? He literally does not improve whatsoever. You try and tell me something that he's improved upon since the Frankie Edgar fight. The only time I feel like he looked a bit better was like when he came back against the Korean Zombie in like 2020. That's it. And I just feel like that's always been the problem with Brian Ortega. The guy simply doesn't care. And I feel like this is proven when you even look at his record and activity from 2018. He has a record of 3 wins and 5 losses. In 7 years, this guy's fought 8 times and has a record of 3 wins and 5 losses. Which makes it even more mental that this is somehow a top 5 talent in the featherweight division. If you watched his fight against Aljamain Sterling, were you sitting there and thinking, oh yeah, this is amongst one of the best in that featherweight division. This is some serious, he's one of the top 5 guys in that featherweight division, because I tell you what, I certainly wasn't. Honestly, in my opinion, the only reason why Brian Ortega's really had success is because he's almost like a perfect clutch fighter. The only amount of success he's had has been from being very clutch. Granted, the Frankie Edgar KO was brilliant. He was the first person to finish Frankie Edgar. That was brilliant. Other than that, he's just been very clutch. He was losing to Money Moicano, and then he clutched up a late submission win. He was losing to Clay Guida, clutched up a big knee victory. He was losing to Yair Rodriguez and got a 10-8 round, and then he clutched up and got the finish against Yair Rodriguez. He almost clutched up and got a choke over Volkanovski. This guy's just full of clutch moments, but other than that, there's just nothing to him. I mean, even in this fight against Aljamain Sterling, in the 5th and final round, he landed a nice right hand against Aljamain Sterling, but unfortunately, the clutch guy just couldn't clutch upon it and get the victory from it. And now that he's more than likely finished with the featherweight division, because what else is he going to do? Oh, he'll probably come back in 2026, have 1 fight, lose that, and then what? 2027 has another 1 fight and loses that, and he'll still be in the top 5 somehow. This guy's moves up to the lightweight division. If you just have a quick little gander at that rankings, the top 15, do you guys think he beats anyone in the top 15? Genuinely, because I don't think that he does. And listen, I know there's a lot of Brian Ortega fans out there. He has like a very niche fan base, in my opinion. I've never been on the hype train or the fan base of Brian Ortega, especially after what happened on the Ultimate Fighter, where he just really wasn't interested in helping people out. But regardless, when it comes to Brian Ortega, even Brian Ortega fans have to understand that he's simply not good enough. Whether you agree or disagree with me that he was ever good in the first place, that's fine. You may disagree with me, but right now you have to admit this guy is not good enough. And if whoever he fights in that featherweight top 15, I think he'll struggle with. And whoever he fights in the top 15 of the lightweight division, I think he struggles with. So it does leave the question, what is genuinely next for Brian Ortega? Yes, he can keep getting matched up against other people, but if he doesn't give a fuck about MMA anymore, what is the point? Who knows? Maybe if he moves up to the lightweight division, he sees it as like a fresh new start, a blank page in his life or whatever. Maybe he has a bit of success. But for me personally, just going off of how he's been recently, I just don't think that's going to be the case. I think he'll lose at 155, and I actually do think that Brian Ortega should contemplate retirement. But what do you guys think about Brian Ortega? What do you think about his career? What do you think about his awful performance against Aljamain Sterling? Let me know in the comments. I'm very interested to see what people think about this. Even if you're a Brian Ortega fan and you're going to give me a bit of shit, let me know what your thoughts are on Brian Ortega. Thank you for watching the video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.